Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and always remember, Serenity now, insanity later. Today I want to talk about a science fiction television series and its follow-up feature theatrical film. Now this is something that I really should have seen a long time ago. The cult classic Joss Whedon created and directed Firefly. I am so surprised why this show did in fact go off the air when it originally aired on Fox, and I finally get what all of the hype and all the crazy fan base around this show that is a true space western. I totally understand why it was so popular. It's just so well written, a very simple story in regards to a future in which humans had to leave Earth because of the resources being used up and looking for a ton of additional planets to terraform and recreate their civilization. And it's so funny because Joss Whedon really does go ahead of his time. That whole premise is a major basis of science fiction stories today. I mean, Christopher Nolan has Interstellar coming out at the end of 2014, and that is all based on that exact same premise. And it basically, of course, has your civil wars, interplanetary wars, pretty much, of the people that just don't want to follow the way the governments are, and those that don't follow the way of the government kind of have gone back to the old ways, using the basics of technology to survive, while the ones who do follow the government are rich with technology and futuristic backgrounds and futuristic ways of life. It's such a very well-written show for such a complex story to be so simple and basic and easy to follow, with a cast that truly was one for the ages. I mean, there's such on-screen chemistry between this little crew of the starship Serenity, and it's such a great show filled with drama and action and so much great humor. I mean, there's no one character that truly stands out. It's a real collective effort. And unfortunately, the one season of 14 episodes had to be cut short due to poor ratings for some reason, and I don't understand why, because DVDs have flown off the shelves since it got released as a complete series release, and people just constantly talk about it in pop culture and so on and so forth. I mean, for crying out loud, Nathan Fillion bought the rights for Firefly, and now on his very successful network show Castle, he constantly throws Firefly references out, which are great. But then, of course, we move on to the 2005 release of the Firefly feature film Serenity. And it's a great science fiction film, a little bit different from the show because it really introduces a lot more futuristic and sci-fi elements to it, but it really puts the show together and really ties it all up in one nice little package. And it even includes Chiwetel Ejiofor as the main antagonist, who happened to have been up for an Academy Award nomination last year for the film 12 Years a Slave, so that is pretty awesome. But if there's one thing that I can say about the Firefly franchise, it's the fact that the cast is really what drives this film. And these guys are science fiction fans at heart. They love going to science fiction conventions, and apparently they love comic books because they have constantly teamed up with Bruce Timm and voice directing extraordinaire Andrea Romano to be voices for all of these DCAU shows and films. I mean, I'll just go through the list. We have Nathan Fillion, who has been Green Lantern God knows how many times on these direct-to-DVD releases, and Steve Trevor in the Wonder Woman DVD release. You had Gina Torres being Superwoman in Crisis on Two Earths. You had Summer Glau as Supergirl in Superman Batman Apocalypse. You had Sean Mayer and Morena Baccarin in Son of Batman together, featured as Nightwing and Talia al Ghul. But Morena Baccarin had also been Black Canary in JLU. You had Adam Baldwin as Superman in Superman Doomsday, and he also lent his voice to a couple of characters in Batman the Brave and the Bold. Ron Glass was in Superman the Animated Series, and Alan Tudyk voiced Superman in Justice League War. The only one actress that really didn't do anything is Jewel Staite, and even Christina Hendricks. You probably know her from a very well-known show known as Mad Men. She got her start in 2 episodes of Firefly, and even she has joined the DCAU crew as the voice of Lois Lane in All-Star Superman. So I'm wondering why Jewel Staite has not taken that chance to really go into this realm that the rest of the cast has gone to together. They've played alongside one of each other, they've gone their separate ways in all of these things, but it truly is their passion, and I loved this show and this film. And as a double feature here, I don't rate television shows, but I will definitely give Serenity 3.5 out of 4. It is a very enjoyable science fiction film. It goes up there with the great science fiction films that I constantly talk about, like The Fifth Element, Donnie Darko, Blade Runner, Pacific Rim, etc. So if you have never seen Firefly, and you really want to see some true unique science fiction and fantasy, watch Firefly. It's on Netflix. It's very cheap to get on DVD and Blu-ray, and see Serenity. Such an enjoyable movie. Thanks for watching this great throwback double feature, guys. I am the Lawn Gnome, and remember that actions speak louder than words.